Welcome to more World Cup drama from South America. We're bound to have it here in the Defensores del Chaco Stadium in Asunción in Paraguay. Just look at the crowd, listen to the atmosphere, and it's going to be a test of nerve for referee Jose Ramirez from Peru and his two officials, fellow countrymen, with this promising to be the tightest group of all in South America. And don't forget that the winners of this group still have to meet Israel in a playoff. Well, here is the Paraguay lineup, and in goal, that man Chilavert, who converted the penalty, which gave Paraguay their one victory so far in the group. Some formidable defenders, not least of them Torales. And look out for number 5 here now, Rogelio Delgado, a veteran of the last World Cup campaign in Spain. So was Núñez, who wears number 6 here. And Guash at 8. And there's a lot of experience. Number 7, Ramon Hicks, and number 9, Cabañas, are also survivors from that World Cup campaign in Spain. So there the Paraguayan lineup. And it was only recently confirmed that Caetano Rey would be the manager for the World Cup series. As we have a look at the substitutes, Caetano Rey only just getting the job when the Paraguayan Federation decided to sack the man who had been in charge. That was Eduardo Lujan-Manera. That in fact was only days before the World Cup campaign began. So Delgado is out there along with Ecuador's captain, and here is the Ecuador lineup, beginning with goalkeeper Carlos Luis Morales from the Barcelona club. Bravo has been brought into the side. There's Quinones, the captain, and Quinteros has also been brought in to replace Jimmy Izquierdo. There is Caparro, one of the best players in the recent South American Championships. Fajardo wearing 5. Aguinaga, who looks like a bank manager there, doesn't he? Munoz. Aviles, one of the most consistent strikers in Ecuador football. And Guerrero making up the numbers. And their coach is Dusan Draskovic. So what a night for Jose Ramirez from Peru. His linesmen are Señores Tejada and Barrios. And as always on these South American occasions, plenty of flag waving before the start of the game. It is so important to these countries' qualification for the World Cup finals. And away we go with Ecuador in the yellow shirts, Paraguay playing in their familiar red and white stripes and blue shorts. So I wonder, 0-0 it is at the moment. I wonder what's in store over the next 90 minutes. There's certainly been plenty of drama in all these South American groups, not least, of course, the one featuring Brazil and Chile. And we know now, of course, that Brazil have gone through on a FIFA ruling. That looks like the first free kick of the game given against Núñez, who's a very good little player, but very, very competitive too. So Ecuador having the first free kick of the game. The pitch looking in immaculate condition. The grass a little longer than it would be in some stadiums maybe, but it's very, very well kept here. And Ecuador moving forward, the ball played back straight away to Chilavert, who plays for Real Zaragoza in Spain, and a good long clearance from him. Nobody wants to give anything away in the early stages of the game, obviously. And there's Quinones, the long-haired captain of Ecuador. Jorge Quinones, back to his goalkeeper Carlos Luis Morales, who's made over 50 appearances at various representative levels for Ecuador. That's Delgado coming to meet its formidable competitor Rogelio Delgado, now playing for Independiente in Argentina. Capurro who came across, and but he's leaving the throw-in to Fajardo. Fajardo, good long throw as well down the line, and nicely worked back to Guerrero, but he couldn't take it. So Paraguay trying to exert a bit of authority inside the Ecuador half. That's well played, and a good ball forward too. He's surrounded now by yellow shirts, and the free kick had to be given away in that situation. 3 defenders around the one attacker, Ferreira, and it was hardly surprising that the free kick was given. And Ferreira himself picks himself up, prepares to take it as goalkeeper Morales comes to the near post and then thinks better of it. Only the one man in front of the taker of the free kick, that is unusual. And an awkward looking header out of defence. On the ball here with a favoured left foot, good play from Nefa. New name Nefa to the Paraguayan side. So many of this team that did play in Spain: Chilavert, Zabala, Delgado, Núñez, Hicks, Guash, Cabañas. So they're well known to each other's style of play. And on the substitutes bench, should things not be going too well, they can call on Romero, who of course finished a contract with Barcelona at the end of last season in Spain. That's Quinones with the free kick for Ecuador. Ecuador certainly not a team to be written off. Well, they've no great pedigree. This is probably the strongest side they've ever assembled. Well, one for Paraguay. Ball in field. Rather aimless though. Morales only too happy. He plays for Barcelona too, but the Guayaquil version. Again, Delgado in so swiftly. He got on the wrong side of the attacker for his concern. Now for Ecuador, Capurro. Too strong. And as always in these South American matches, we've got the constant drumbeat in the background, and it certainly raises to fever pitch whenever the ball goes in the net. But a highly significant group, this one. Brazil are already through to the World Cup finals in Italy next year from Group 3 in South America. There's a bit of a battle going on between Bolivia, Peru and Uruguay in Group 1, with Uruguay perhaps the slight favourites, although Bolivia are doing well. But here in Group 2, very, very open. Chilavert advancing from his line and decides to start things in motion again with a throw out to his full back. Here's Núñez. Real workhorse of the midfield. Quite warm down there on the pitch, and so as you would expect, the players are favouring a rather studied approach to the game. They'll just look for the quick dart through the middle of defence, a quick incisive break. Paraguay putting the passes together very nicely indeed there. Guash was involved and Ferreira. Eventually Ecuador bring it away, and they'll look to hit Paraguay on the break here in Asuncion. One followed by Guerrero. That's a good turn away. Aguinaga it was, but couldn't find Guerrero with the return ball, and that's got to be a free kick. Taking all the equipment with him as well. Nelson Guerrero. Double use of 5 yards there at the free kick. Paraguay at the moment appearing to hold most of the aces. They've had the greater share of the possession. Very difficult to break down these defences, and Ecuador, like all other countries, have learnt the art of defending in formation. They deny space very well indeed. The only time, in fact, that Ecuador got anywhere near qualifying for World Cup finals was back in 1950, when they had the chance of going to Brazil and then refused on financial and political grounds. All still bobbling around the edge of the Ecuador penalty area, but finally they got it away. And they do seem to be finding their men quite well in midfield and up front. There's a good link there, and for the first time Paraguay have to concede a free kick inside their own half. The foul was on Aguinaga. And Ecuador have certainly built in confidence a great deal with more regular competition against the top South American nations. They've been performing quite creditably over recent months. Well, as yet neither goalkeeper's been really troubled. Might be here though. Ecuador coming towards the edge of the penalty area, and the first chance of the game, and it's just floated wide of the upright. But Ecuador there prizing Paraguay open in defence. The whistle had, I believe, gone, but Aguinaga getting into a good position. And the man from Deportivo Quito could have made Paraguay hearts just flutter a little bit there. Nunes, much depends on him, I think, in midfield. It's, sweeping the ball around rather sweetly, to say the least. That was a little hunched figure of Ramon Hicks. So again with the throw for Jadot, one of a couple of players who play for the Emelec club here. Just too long. Rather unnecessary whistle that time. The play could have continued. Ball in the hands of the goalkeeper. And some of these referees just a little bit fussy. The linesmen want to get involved too. Oh, that was well done. The fullback misread that situation totally. It's a rather hopeful cross though, and he played rather too quickly. Almost won that time for Ecuador by Montenegro. And again the pass going astray. Zabala tidying up, Hicks forward. Good interception, and I think you might have said that he just bottled out of that one a little bit. Fullback Caceres. Not like him. Zabala has to leave the ball. The free kick is for Ecuador. And there is the unmistakable figure of Quinones. 26 years old now. He's kept that one in play, and that really caught them out, and quite a nice cut back too. Well played by Nunes. Now Paraguay under Caetano Rey have learnt to play some quite cultured football. They do keep the ball on the deck. Played around nicely. Almost getting away from his marker. Literally half a stride away from doing so. Referee Ramirez having quite a few free kicks at the moment. It's Luis Capurro on the ground. He was actually selected in the South American team of the tournament that was chosen after the recent championships. Not bothered about him lying there, are they? I wonder how quickly he'll get up when he knows that the play is going on without him. And with his team on the attack. Not one of the better shots that we would expect in international football. Well, if Paraguay can win this one, they'll feel that they have a really good chance of qualifying for a second successive World Cup finals. They performed quite creditably in Spain, one of the more attractive nations there. And certainly there wasn't as much, dare we say, thuggery involved in their football as there was in some of the other South American countries. And again, down that right flank, it's Delgado who's beaten for pace this time, putting his side in some jeopardy here, and a useful cross. Oh, and Chilivert making a real hash of it, getting his team into trouble, and the ball had to be put behind for a corner kick. What on earth was Chilivert doing? He really put his own man under pressure here. Delgado had been beaten. It looked like a straightforward catch for him. Must have taken his eye off the ball. It went into his chest, and in the end Zabala had to put it behind for the corner. So a bit of encouragement for Ecuador. Ecuador began this group by losing 2-0 to Colombia, which wasn't very good for them. Haven't got a goalless draw. Looked much happier, and Chilivert, well, I think he was undoubtedly obstructed there by Quinones. The referee quite rightly saying that he was hampered. And so it's Paraguay's turn to come forward once more with their right back Cáceres. Quinones is too quick, too sharp, too alert. Things like that to get past him. So again, Cáceres looking for a little bit of movement around. There wasn't a great deal. In the end, Nunes tried to help him out. But strangely, Ecuador have looked the quicker side at times. Here they are once more, inside the Paraguayan half as well, with Nelson Guerrero. A lovely ball too, and chances once more, and the Paraguayans are getting caught out in the centre of defence. Nelson Guerrero's ball there, aimed towards Aviles, and that really did have them struggling at the back. But it's still Paraguay 0, Ecuador 0. Oh, he looked to be flattened, right on the edge of the penalty area too. And despite the protests, referee Ramirez will have none of that, and I'll bet you he'll award the free kick right on the edge of the box. Well, the player managed to wriggle inside the penalty area, but the foul was committed just outside, so the referee was quite justified in his decision. But it was a rather stupid one because the ball was going way over the top of the man coming in. So Carlos Luis Morales has perhaps his most nervous moment of the game so far. The free kick here, and Nunes is particularly adept at these. Watch out too for Cabañas. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 men already protecting their keeper. Nunes has gone forward, so that indicates he won't take hit. Guash might. And as always, everybody's just foxing and trying to outwit one another in this situation. Now, have they worked it right in training? And I think the referee might well administer a yellow card here if this goes on. Some referees would have done, and Nelson Guerrero getting away with it that time. They're going to have to do it a little bit quicker. They're aware of what's on here. Good strike, good stop as well from Morales. They squeezed it through the wall, and that was just going to creep inside that upright. So it was very well worked indeed. Yes, it was going in. It's not a good ball, but it's got there. Somehow or other he managed to find Aguinaga. And Ecuador at times looked very, very useful. Quinones looked unfortunate maybe there. The referee construed that as handball. I think he ran into it almost. However, Cáceres takes the free kick. Paraguay just getting a little bit of ascendancy maybe in the game. But as yet it's meaningless with no goals on the board. Nunes swinging the play back right to his fullback, Cáceres, back in field. And they're really looking to get men up in the penalty area, and Ecuador's covering has so far been really good. And Nunes could strike it. Decides to lay the pass on instead. Oh, and it's come back. The keeper at full stretch was almost knocked in by his own man, Quinones. With Hicks coming in. So Ecuador survive once more. The keeper had to be almost elasticated here. The ball was given back. And when the little looping cross came in, it meant that Morales had to stretch every muscle, every sinew. Delgado. Zabala back inside. Nunes says have it back. Do a bit more work. Looking again for the movement up front, and there is some this time inside the penalty area. And it was literally taken away from the toe of Ferreira. So 19 previous meetings, and Paraguay had won 13 of them. So that's the size of the task confronting Ecuador. It's Paraguay's corner, and again the goalkeeper is up well. Good catch. 17 is Carlos Munoz, newcomer to the international squad, who plays for Banco. Rolls the ball to his right and trots off down the middle, hoping to get it back maybe in a shooting position. And Ecuador have got plenty of men up. They're adventurous and they're inside the penalty area. It was fortunate that Terrales was there. That was Cabañas. This is Nunes. Very thoughtful football being played by the Paraguayans, and this is good. And the defender just managing to get his toe end in. Did a good job there because he was shooting on the turn. It could have been an awkward one for Morales. The crowd well appreciating that. Good bit of football from Paraguay. And a good bit of defending too from Bravo. Now, Bravo was the name, Bravo was the deed. Paraguay's corner. And they seem to be gathering a bit of momentum at the moment. They've a lot of men in and around the penalty area. Good turn, the chances are here. The header's not going to be strong enough. Not to beat Morales, not today. Nicely turned there. Good bit of work by Nefa. The header lacked the sting. And Morales proving extremely agile, 24 now. So hasn't really come to his peak as yet. The free kick here is for a foul on Munoz. And there you have it. No goals in World Cup Group 2. Nelson Guerrero wants to put the record straight. He's a very good runner. And here's the cross coming in. Just eluded the head of Montenegro. And the spectacular overhead kick will cause nobody any problems. Not even the cameraman. Torales forward to Caceres. Flags fluttering here, making it a very, very appetising sight. In Asuncion, that's a good ball over the top, and they keep just catching them out as well. And Ecuador have played some really spirited football at times in this game. That wasn't one of their better moments, nor was that one of Paraguay's. Given away in defence really, and they're putting themselves under pressure by doing that. Oh, well played. And he keeps going as well, and goes for the return. Difficult to imagine that either of these countries would make much impression on the World Cup finals were they to get there, but you never know. It's all about confidence is football, and I'm afraid that exemplifies the player short on confidence really. Not one of the better efforts from Kleber Fejado. Again, this is dangerous because Paraguay getting a lot of people up inside the Ecuador penalty area when they get the opportunity. Munoz ran away from him, and then the tackle helped him out in a way. So Fejado leaves the free kick, leaves the responsibility. Quinteros. Another of the newcomers, Quinteros, he's in place of Izquierdo. Bravo also brought in place of Wilson Macias in the Ecuador side. The game just going through a bit of a fallow period at the moment. Crowd whistling, wanting a bit more action, especially from the home side. That's how they'll get it now. They come looking again down the right. The crowd should bear in mind that Ecuador is certainly not the pushovers they might have been in the past. Munoz again. And it would certainly be a brave man who would predict the outcome of this game at the moment, because Ecuador on the burst have looked quite dangerous. Paraguay, on the other hand, have had most of the build-up. Oh, Delgado absolutely flattening the man in front of him. The referee said there was nothing wrong with that. He may well have been right, actually. The player may just have run into Delgado in the hope of getting something. Sort of thing that happens in South America. The ball from Nefa. Away to Quinones, and he just pops it away down the middle of the field, but Delgado had advanced. And Munoz plays it wide. And Ecuador have got themselves out of that little spot of bother once more. And they're playing some very neat football. Paraguay 2 previous victories in qualifying matches for the World Cup against Ecuador. So there's no doubt about it, the home country start as the favourites. I think most people would have seen it as a straight fight between Colombia and Paraguay in this group. As I said at the outset, don't forget that whoever wins it still has to face Israel for the right to play in Italy next year. All the way through, picked up by Aviles. And that'll be a corner. Good work again by Carlos Munoz. He's worked extremely hard in this game. matter what Caceres thinks, the corner has been given. One of the less savoury moments of the game. So the corner floated in, floated out as well from the head of one of the cluster of Paraguayan defenders there. But Ecuador have certainly not come just to steal a point here. Whenever they get the opportunity, they carry the fight to the home side. Ooh, and it's given away by Núñez inside the penalty area. They couldn't keep the shot down on that angle. But just a little red light maybe to Paraguay again, that they can't mess around inside their own penalty area. Núñez there making a bit of a blunder, a shot flying over the top. Well, it's not been a dull first half by any means, but like so many other matches, this one could certainly use a goal. But it's hard to know who'll get the first one. Presuming somebody does. Guerrero. Plays for LDU Quito. Here he is on the ball now, and he's seen plenty of the ball down this left touchline as well. Inside is Aguinaga. He's due to go to Mexico shortly. Said to be one of the best players that Ecuador has ever produced. And again, you can hear the crowd venting their feelings on the players. I want to see them progress up the field, not be tapping the ball back all the time. Turn. It's given Ecuador a bit of space too, and all of a sudden Paraguay are backpedaling now. That if they can string the passes together here, Guerrero, as Núñez got in the way. The confidence is really soaring now. Little back flicks. Goodness me. Capuro's pass and the shot straight at Chilavert. But quite a lot to be admired there about the way Ecuador brought that ball forward. Capuro here. And then it was a really good little flick and shot. Throw in, Ferreira takes. Finding Cabañas. And well, you can hear the whistling around the ground for that misplaced pass. Quinones gives the ball inside to fellow defender Bravo. Once more Ecuador have to get back quickly. Just for the moment, there doesn't seem to be much of a vein running through the work of the Paraguayans. They're not really threading passes together as they were earlier in the match. That's good. Oh, taken away from his own man. The acrobatic overhead kick to no avail because the ball never came. There was the cross. There was the flick header from Cabañas, and all to no avail. The longer the game goes on like this, the more Ecuador will feel that they can get something from it. They've certainly not been unnerved, and Guerrero here has had a particularly good first half. Well played, but fortunate not to give away a free kick, Delgado there, because the man was trying to take the ball. Guerrero playing it forward, and he did connect with him, I think. That was Avilés. Now all of a sudden the action's up the other end. The referee Ramirez has to go and find a player down on his knees, some 50 yards away from where he was. So there was one player at one end, Avilés, and there's another at the other end. So they're falling down like 10 pins. Picks us up again. The referee has indicated that he has stopped his watch for all this delay. Treatment being administered at the far end of the field. And there looks to be a little bit of concern here on the face of Ecuador's trainer. Stretcher called for. Remains to be seen whether it's required. Yes, it is. So Avila's off. Well, it's been lively at both ends of the field then. And here we can see just how Delgado put his man out of the game. So a four-man wall is being formed here. Paraguay have this free kick, and the first chance they've had for quite some time in the game to underline the authority they've enjoyed with a goal straight at the wall. Still here, and there's still a chance the ball just wouldn't go away, but it should do now. Once more, Paraguay have to go charging back to defend their lines. Ecuador on the break, and a bad ball. Tackles flying in a bit thick and fast at the moment. I think both sides will welcome the half-time whistle just to cool things down. The important factor is that we haven't had a goal as yet. Who knows? Another free kick and yet another player down. The referee Ramirez is getting the bird. Not the most popular man out there at the moment. Quinones seems to have a lot to say about things. The referee says, come on, just get on with the game. Well, he's right. Aguinaga's also talking away to him. Probably should be saving his energy, really. Well, I've no doubt that Colombia will be watching this game with interest as well, because the next match is the one in which they take on Paraguay. Nobody busier than the stretcher bearers at the moment. And then the final game of this group is between Ecuador and Paraguay, again in Guayaquil. So we've lost a player from each side now in the space of 3 or 4 minutes. Half-time, of course, would give the two coaches time just to reassess the battle plans for the second half. Cayetano Rey, extremely experienced, the Paraguayan coach, more than the Argentine. And Ecuador's coach, Dusan Draskovic, as the name would imply, is from Yugoslavia. He's done a really good job for them. So Paraguay ending the half as they started it, and as they've continued for much of it. Although it's certainly not been a one-sided contest, Ecuador have had their share of enjoyment in the half. Caceres forward. Not easily controlled either by Quinteros. That's better. And Paraguay here with a chance because they've got men up inside the penalty area. 1-0. It's a beautifully taken goal. Cabañas takes the credit, as he's done on so many occasions for Paraguay. A firm header planted inside. Morales is upright. There was little he could do about it. And Cabañas is the hero of the crowd at this moment. It was a well-worked move. There didn't seem to be a lot on, really, as the cross came over, but Cabañas rose high. A soaring header, just what Paraguay needed at this stage. So it's Paraguay 1, Ecuador 0, and a great time for them to score, and Cabañas has done it for them. Well, we're seeing the goal from all angles, and it was a firm header, one the goalkeeper could do nothing about. Paraguay have the lead, and yet again here we see just how they've taken it. There were the two men in there ready, and it was an emphatic way to give the home country the lead just before half time. That's the result. So Paraguay 1, Ecuador 0, and one wonders just how much that now will deflate the opposition. There is the scoreline. Coming so close to half-time, it's a real morale booster for them. Quinones, the captain here now, must really try and hold his side together. But Ecuador are coming again. Delightfully done, and chances here. Oh, and Chilavert served his side well there, because Ecuador created perhaps their best position of the half. It was beautifully done, it really was. And the goalkeeper spotted the danger, got himself out and made the save. Oh, they're here again. This time Morales had got his angle right. But you've got to question him a little bit about the goal, because he was beaten on his near post from the header. That time, no questions. But Ecuador once more. And, this time, the shot looping over the top of the crossbar. If Paraguay can hold on now for the remaining moments of this half, I think they'll feel quite pleased. Because the longer the game had gone without them scoring, the more nervous they would have been. As it is now, they've got a lead. The question is, do they sit on it, or do they try and build on it? The advice really should be to build. Well, again, Ecuador have got that ball inside the penalty area. The finishing hasn't been too clever, but the approach work has been excellent at times. Cabañas has worked extremely hard. Nunez. That's Quinteros. Again, the whistle going. Referee Ramirez has been pretty well on the job. He's perhaps used the whistle just a little bit too much for the flow of the game. He would argue that he's had to do. But at the moment, Paraguay holding a crucial one-goal advantage just before the interval. The referee would probably welcome the break as much as the two teams, but Paraguay might not welcome it at the moment, because they're just beginning to get on top. I think there was a handball there. Ecuador must regroup in the second half, try and get themselves back into the game. The unmistakable figure of Quinones has a great responsibility as the skipper. Well, he definitely barged Quinones out of the way. And there's one to chase. Oh, great shove in the back, and surely he's not going to try and get away with things like that. Right under the eye of the linesman, Senor Tejada, as well. Nearly shoved him into the crowd. Well, that would have gone down well on a rugby field. And rather stupidly, Ecuador giving away a free kick then moments before half-time, which will be taken by Ferreira. Although he's now been joined over here by Zabala. Ferreira it is. Leave it to me, he says. Referee's got his back turned at the moment, so anything could happen. Floated in, keeper's ball. But on the whole, Paraguay will be highly delighted with the events of the half. Although Ecuador have given them one or two shocks. The referee just glancing at that watch now. They have got the one priceless goal. And that just gives them a cushion for the second half. And I've no doubt that Caetano Rey will have worked out the strategy. Of not being too adventurous, but trying to add to that one goal. Delgado will, as always, be the strong man in defence. That's given away. Quinones taking it on for Ecuador. And down this right-hand side, they've posed a few problems. Nunes is chasing shadows again at the moment. This is where some of the best attacking work from Ecuador has come. Again, they're trying to drive a wedge between the fullback and the midfield, in that quarter of the field. By and large, I think the crowd has enjoyed what they've seen. A little bit of restlessness early on. Well, one imagines the half can't continue much longer. Certainly had the full 45 minutes. We have, of course, had two players carried off on stretchers. That must yet again be a free kick for Ecuador. Apologies from Cabañas. Won't affect the decision of the referee, though. Ecuador still not unnerved, still want to get in on the act. But the referee now does raise the arms, he points to the tunnel, the crowd gets to their feet to talk about the events of the first 45 minutes. Paraguay have the lead, it's Paraguay 1, Ecuador 0. They're probably just about good value for it, but this game is not over by any means at all. Join us again for the second half, which comes right up after this break. Welcome back to Asunción with Paraguay leading Ecuador by 1-0. That header from Cabañas. The lights are on for the second half. And we're off. So Caetano Rey, the coach of Paraguay, Dusan Draskovic, the coach of Ecuador, will have passed on words of wisdom to their two sides in the hope of turning the event of the game, turning the course of it, certainly in Ecuador's case. As far as Paraguay are concerned, it's just a question of keeping their noses in front now. And they will have two precious World Cup points if they can do that. And here they are trying to exert more pressure. But he's a very good central defender, this fella. Good stop at this time. Quinteros looking suitably unhappy about that. Asuncion, Paraguay it is. 1-0 it is to Paraguay, the home side as well. Ecuadorian football showing real signs of progress in this past year. No complaints there. Cabañas totally unhappy about that, but very happy about the fact he's got his name on the score sheet. Ecuador really do have to carry the fight now. They've got to get something from this game, otherwise their faint World Cup hopes will recede even further. Oh, that's a good effort. Start of the half, and Chilavert is extremely furious with his defenders. He's having a real old goal there at Delgado, who's turning his back on him. But the cross here was measured, and he got in ahead of the centre-back. That could have been rather dangerous. Chilavert very unhappy about that. Paraguay have always had good attacking players, and when you think they've got someone of the quality of Romero on the bench, former South American Footballer of the Year, it shows just what they have to select from these days. Left for Nunes. Nunes with the outside of the foot. On by Ferreira, back to Nunes. Ferreira doesn't seem to want to go forward at the moment, so Terrales plays it forward. And happy miss-headed clearance there, but fortunately for Ecuador, the referee had spotted an infringement, a little push perhaps. There's Nunes getting in a header, and he's not often going to do that at 5'7". Now then, Munoz. Got a bit of room then as well. This is where they're dangerous. It's Guerrero on the ball. He was just being hustled out of it by Zabala. So in the end, he gets his reward, a corner kick. And Nelson Guerrero has been as lively as anybody. Only the one man in there so far, Aguinaga. It's a bit flat, easily away. He'll deal with those. Really important for Paraguay to qualify for the World Cup finals, having got to Mexico 4 years ago. Almost 4 years ago. Yet another free kick, and this time it's gone the way of Paraguay. So most of the players in the yellow shirts have to retreat. Pretty solid looking wall. Confirmation of Cabañas' goal there for you. And Nunes runs over it. Cabañas strikes it. Not to any great effect though. And Guerrero it is who puts it away in the region where he would have been himself normally. It's been a strange start to the second half in many ways. Another collision there, but an inadvertent one. The onus really is very much on Ecuador now. The temptation must be to Paraguay for them to just sit on the 1-goal advantage that they've got, not be over ambitious, just to make sure they don't give anything away. That was good, and it's a lovely cross too. It was a superb ball from Nefa. Pretty good defending too. Nunes charges in like a rampaging bull, and it's had the desired effect because Nefa has the ball, and that's going to be a free kick. Jado gives it away. Referee wants a quick word with him. And Nunes, who really made the intervention there that counted, really put his man off his stroke, will take the free kick. And there's the signal. Has anybody read it? One or two deliberate little ploys maybe. And, whistle's gone again. Nunes floating it in. And again, Delgado has won so much ball in the air, as you always expect him to do. He's such a daunting looking figure. Well, there's been some good approach work from Ecuador. They've got good technical skills, of that there is no doubt. It's a question of putting something on the end of it, as so often happens with these countries. So Paraguay still leading Ecuador by a 1-0 here in Asuncion. Free kick has gone Ecuador, the throw-in has gone Ecuador's way. Much to the disapproval of the disgruntled spectators here. But basically they'll still be happy at the end of 90 minutes if Paraguay have that 1-goal advantage. Now it's Paraguay's throw. Nunes with it. What a fierce little competitor he is. Ball is not a good one. Once again, Ecuador easily bringing it away. Guerrero. They do find their man nicely. The build-up is really to be admired, and Guerrero's got himself out onto that touchline again and cuts inside, plays the ball forward inside the penalty area. It's a good effort there, and Delgado was falling as he managed to get in his clearing header. Free kick is given. There you can see Rogelio Delgado. He really is the strong man of this defence, and he got the ball away before he was clattered to the ground. Ecuador liberally giving away free kicks in this second half. And Torales leaves it for Nunes. It's a better striker of the ball perhaps, certainly in a dead position. And again it's Guerrero who's made some ground there and goes on to take up a return ball if it was coming. It never did. Munoz cutting inside the challenge from Nunes. Oh, but that was well read, very easily spotted indeed. But now they've lost the impetus again. Just manages to get in his kick. Space being made on the outside. Hicks crosses and Morales off quickly. Plays a good ball through the middle too. Good defending. Both sides generally have defended well, just the one mental aberration perhaps in the middle of Ecuador's defence which allowed Cabanis his header, and how he made them pay for it. Deary me, that really is so sloppy, and no wonder Chilavert's angry. Well, he's got no right to be angry with anybody but himself there. It wasn't a good back pass, but he allowed it to run away from him. And he's put his own side under some pressure now, which was totally unnecessary. That really wasn't very good, and it looks as though we're going to have our first substitution for Paraguay. And Ferreira is the man who will be coming on. Corner kick though for Ecuador, and the header was from Capurro. So Chilavert got away with it in many ways. There's Capurro's header. Well on goal. Munoz has got space outside him. He's got a man supporting as well on the overlap. Delgado only too happy to put that ball out of play. And it will allow Paraguay to make their substitution. Ferreira coming on, and it'll be Ramon Hicks who takes his place back on the bench. And Ecuador have themselves another corner. It's taken by Bravo. Chilavert this time well off his line. He's got a good pair of hands. Bravo here directing that corner way west, right on the penalty spot. Still then Paraguay 1, Ecuador 0 in Asuncion. The goal scorer Cabañas. And that goal coming just a couple of minutes before half-time. It really was a marvellous moment for Paraguay to give their supporters something to cheer about. But strangely in this second half, well, maybe not strangely when you think about it, it's Ecuador who are doing the bulk of the pressure, bulk of the attacking. Paraguay, they could pay the price though. They're just sitting back on this one-goal advantage at the moment. Shots raining in from all over the place. Some coming off defenders and that one going way high and wide. Now Paraguay with a chance to capitalise maybe. Halfway inside Ecuador's half with Guash. Sideways to Nunez, sideways again. They're finding it hard to make progress. Ball run out of play over there by Caceres. Montenegro was calling for it, and he's got it now, courtesy of his captain, Quinones. That's a good ball inside the area, but it was well cut out. And again, it was this very impressive defender, Capurro, who got there first. And he really does battle well. Did tremendously well then, Capurro. And they've got the ball away to Munoz. Munoz will hit a long crossfield pass. That's just nicked inside, and Quinones has done really well there. Gets the corner kick, and Quinones surged forward from a deep defensive position. Just look at him tearing forward. That's the enthusiasm of Quinones. It was a good tackle. And the corner. Well, it was away easily, but there was nobody to pick it up. So Ecuador are able to come again with Guerrero. There's certainly something lacking at the end of Ecuador's play. A lot of their approach work is excellent, but the finishing does leave quite a bit to be desired. Once more, the man to get that ball out of the danger zone, just kept in by Munoz. Well, they often look so threatening when they're coming towards the Paraguayan net, but they can't put the ball in it. Munoz once more. It's not the sort of crossfield pass that Guerrero really wanted, but Quinones again charges forward, and now he's got to go back a long way too. First touch on the ball wasn't too clever there. So Terrales headed deliberate. He almost played the penalty there of them not seeing the man coming in. That looked like a handball. Referee Ramirez thought so too. And the game is just drifting a little at the moment, with Paraguay leading 1-0, Ecuador seemingly unable to break the stranglehold. Maybe now a little bit more of ambition will be shown by Paraguay as Nunes takes it up. He's playing a holding game in midfield really at the moment, trying to get past Quinones, who's an uncompromising character. He looks quite fearsome, I must say. Nunes again picking it up from that little ricochet. Dreadful pass. That wasn't of international standard whatsoever, but at the moment Ecuador just seem unable to get that ball out of their own half. He's going to come back at them again. Well, there's a slight misplacement by Delgado. He falls over in a heap. No good in complaining, he must get on with the game. Bravo. Delgado there. He probably was pushed in the back, but I'm not sure how intentional it was. Zabala taking it on from Nunes. Doesn't play a good ball again though. And again, some of the best moments have come down that left touchline in this second half from Ecuador. And there was an obstruction there by Caceres. Oh, good ball inside the penalty area too. They'd not spotted him at all. Aguinaga, who was lurking up there. And if his control hadn't let him down, Aguinaga would have been in a very good position. It appears that Ecuador are going to bring on Benitez. They really do need to get somebody with a bit of presence up front who's going to put some pressure on Chilavert in the Paraguayan goal. Strange thing is that Chilavert has looked, here he is now, as though he's not really in his best form today. He's done a couple of very peculiar things. Total misjudgment there. suppose the best thing that could happen to this game from a neutral observer's point of view would be for Ecuador to score, because that would put the emphasis back then on Paraguay and make them come out a little bit more than they are doing in this second half. At the moment they're just playing a containing game. And they really are content to sit on what they've got. And indeed, Alex Aguinaga is the player to come off. That's a bit surprising. Aguinaga, he's not had the best of days. And Tenorio it is. We're going to see now. Byron Tenorio, 24-year-old striker from the Nacional club. And at the same time, Romero is coming on. And the player he is replacing is Nefa. So Paraguay have made both their substitutions. Hicks gone off with Ferreira coming on, and now Nefa replaced by the man who is known affectionately as Romerito. We'll give him his proper name of Romero. What is surprising really is that you would have expected Ecuador to have thrown on two substitutes, perhaps more than Paraguay. They are the ones who have got to get a goal from somewhere. We've not seen a lot of Raul Aviles, the top striker. And Paraguay have a chance now inside the area, and could this be number two? The keeper's missed it, it is now! He made a terrible hash of that, and he's punished by Ferreira. 2-0. Paraguay surely have taken the tie beyond Ecuador now. Ferreira celebrates, the crowd celebrate, the whole of Paraguay celebrates. And it was that bludgeoning header forward that got Paraguay in trouble, but really the goalkeeper should have done better. He flapped. And with two defenders on the line to beat, Ferreira managed to squeeze it just inside the upright. Quinones was beaten on a header. Then Morales really bungled the chance of catching the ball. Ferreira whipped it into the net. And at 2-0, Paraguay surely are red-hot favourites now to take the 2 points. And there is nothing left in this match for Ecuador but to attack. 2-0 down, they simply have to get back into the game somehow. Don't forget, when this match is over, Ecuador have just one game left against the same opposition in their own country. Paraguay have to go to Colombia. That could be the game that might settle this group. Colombia versus Paraguay. Well, that really has acted as a great lift to the crowd. Ferreira's goal, coupled with the one by Cabañas in the first half, it's given them a 2-goal advantage now. You see the goal coming in the 68th minute. And now they only have another 20 minutes left to hold on to this 2-goal advantage that they enjoy. And Ecuador, at no stage of this game really, have shown that they are capable of scoring goals. Much of their work has been impressive, but when they've got into the Paraguayan penalty area, they've been less than impressive. And that will have been a great disappointment to Carlos Luis Morales, the goalkeeper. He really should have done better, and generally his play up to that point had been quite good. But questions will be asked, no doubt at all about that one. Bravo! That's the player taking the throw. Nunes shielding the ball cleverly and then playing it back. Little push in the back. We get a lot of those in South American football, but Paraguay managing to maintain their grip at the moment. Now they have to defend better. It's not a free kick. Oh, that one is. So Romero hadn't been on the field long when that second goal came. I don't think he can take any great credit for it. But certainly Paraguay very much in the driving seat now. And they're coming looking for more. Maybe they're gaining in confidence. There's the cross from Terrales. Quinones tries to get it away. Not very far. This is the sort of situation from which the second goal developed. Ecuador taking their time in getting the ball out of defence. Quinones has done it now. And here comes the second Ecuador substitute. And this time I think it is going to be Benitez. Well, it would make some alarming deterioration in Paraguay's play for them to lose it now. A few Ecuador heads might just go down. They were still so much involved in the game at 1-0, but at 2-0 they really do have a big problem on their hands. Quinones hacks it straight up in the air. He wasn't sure where it had gone. And that's what I mean about heads going down. I think that even the captain there looked a little disinterested, a little dismayed. Still, the game is not over yet, and here are Ecuador, and they're converging around that penalty area. They've got to get past Delgado. He's very much the linchpin of the Paraguay defence. And they'll do this sort of thing, play the ball around, but they've really got to be more incisive when they get near goal. That's Delgado again. Munoz. That's a better ball from Munoz. Now then, inside the area, and Delgado is there once more. He's had a fine game. Oh, and the clearance is good. There's a real chance on here. He was just onside because he was inside his own half. Holding things up now, and the shot from an angle isn't on, but the corner is given. Corner one, and it was another sharp break, but it's the sort of thing Ecuador must be laying themselves open to now. There's no point in them just concentrating on defence and keeping the score down. They have to try and get 2 goals now from somewhere. Heaven knows where. But for the moment, it's their turn to defend their goal again. Corner to be taken over on the right hand side by Ferreira, the scorer of the second goal. So he's going to curl it. No, he's going to play it short. Now he might curl it. Quinones away, Nunes strikes it. No danger in the end. So it's Paraguay 2, Ecuador 0 in Group 2 of the World Cup qualifiers in South America. And Paraguay, knowing that they really needed to win this one to set themselves up for the meeting with Colombia. Romero trying to get involved in the game, but he'll allow Nunes to take the throw. That was the other substitute, Herrera. Ecuador, all dainty little flicks and pushes and some nice play in between, some good patterns, but just no shooting at the end of it all. That's the only way they're going to get the ball past Chilavert. They're coming forward in numbers now. Bravo is the fullback. Munoz. Now a chance maybe, oh no. Snatched at it somewhat, he didn't have a great deal of time. Well, Hamilton on, Rosero off. But Paraguay appear to be coasting now to this victory. Although you've got to hand it to Ecuador that they aren't certainly giving up the fight. They are doing the only thing open to them, keeping possession and trying to put some pressure on the home side. Still not finding it easy, and Paraguay have defended well, both in midfield and in defence when they've had to do. Delgado has been outstanding. Nunes has worked extremely hard in midfield. This time safely back from Morales. Oh, that's a good turn. Once more they come inside the visitors' territory. Although he succeeded in keeping that ball in play, it was to no real advantage of his own. So Julio Rosero has gone off. They've just come into international football. Hamilton on for him, but I don't think it really matters about changes in personnel so much now. The sting seems to have gone a little bit out of Ecuador. 2 down, really struggling here to make an impact. And Paraguay will have another free kick right on the halfway line. The ball left for Nunes, no doubt, and he himself seems to have had enough as well. So a first half goal from Cabañas, a second half one from Ferreira, and Paraguay are coasting it. So away this time by Quinones. They really do have to get more men forward into good positions. Paraguay have been so stout at the back. This time cross was a bit flat from Bravo. Despite the fact they've got plenty of men up, they also had 4 men back then to cover the break. Paraguay managing to retain the possession. Flat ball, Nunes tips it on. Chances of a third maybe. The shot driven in. Bicycle kicked away. Only as far as Torales. Nunes. Well, I really can't see any other result than a Paraguay victory now, which is exactly what this big crowd has come to see. They'll all go away happy. And the drum beat has started. Again, the ball is really given away. Oh, that's nicely done. That was very nicely done indeed by Romero. And the shot straight at Morales. That's what the crowd again wanted. I love their Romero. And that's the best we've seen from him since he came on. It's a good effort. The positioning of goalkeeper Morales was good too. Oh, and there the chance goes a-begging. It really looked as though it had to be a third for Paraguay that time. The shot off the mark. Nunes it was who cut it back, and that was a glorious opportunity spurned. We switch our attentions to the opposite end of the field. But another free kick given. And it's given against Ecuador, for whom time is really of a premium now. Not long left for them to score one, let alone 2 goals. Especially as they're defending it. And now they've intercepted. And the ball play forward is a good one too. Guerrero has some support as well. Well, it would certainly set us up for a grandstand finish if they could get a goal. Not confident defending. There was a player in an offside position if the ball had gone through. And as they've done for the majority of the afternoon, Paraguay managed to get that ball away. And then Romero shows us his skills once more. Carlos Munoz. Oh, and Chilavert just seemed to catch his own man Delgado on the nose end there as he came out. He won't be too popular with his man for that. Oh, that was a lovely ball. He just crept too far between the 2 defenders and got into an offside position. The idea was good. It's Paraguay 2. Ecuador 0. But Ecuador still here, camped just outside Paraguay's penalty area. Now they're inside it, wriggling and turning and trying to get a cross in. And a little flicked header, a chance here. Oh, it must be a goal. 1 goal back for Ecuador. And they've got it at the perfect time, really. Only about 7 minutes in the game left. But is it going to be given now? Then the referee is being absolutely surrounded, as you would expect. The ball was turned into the net by Aviles. There's some good play over there. The header missed. The defender couldn't get his foot in. There's the little header, and I couldn't see anything wrong with that at all. The ball was put into the net. And what has happened is that Chilavert has been sent off. Well, that's extraordinary. I couldn't quite see what he did there. I think he probably took it out on the player, having scored the goal. And so Romero is going to take over in goal from Chilavert. So we've got some drama here, all right. Ecuador have got a goal. It's now 2-1, and the disconsolate Chilavert is being sent off. Well, it was his reaction, I'm sure, at Ecuador's goal. He was downright annoyed about the fact that they'd got a goal, and he must have taken it out on the scorer Aviles. 2-1 is the score, though, with only about 5 minutes remaining. So Ecuador now should really be lifted. The sight of Romero in goal, having come on as a substitute not that long ago, should lift them. So that's turned the course of the game a little bit, but they've still got another goal to get if they're to deny Paraguay the 2 points. And Paraguay will no doubt sit on this, and they'll give Romero a feel of the ball. Great cheers go up around the stadium here. for their midfield hero, team goalkeeper. Well, I'm hoping we'll see a replay of the incident from the goal just to see what Chilavert did. But the referee certainly saw something. And the goalkeeper from Real Zaragoza is off the pitch. I think a little bit of retribution has been taken out there from one of the Paraguayan players. All saves a bit of time, of course, which is foremost in the minds of a lot of players too. But I really would like to see that incident again immediately following the goal by Aviles for Ecuador. The referee ran unhesitatingly towards the Paraguayan goalkeeper. He was surrounded by Ecuador players who I think thought that he was going to disallow the goal for some reason, and it would have been obscure because there was nothing wrong with it, apart from the fact that it wasn't very good defending by Paraguay. Well, we'll have some time added on now for this stoppage. Pereira seems to be just about all right. The referee is coming over to the bench. I've no doubt that the protestations will be long and loud and very vociferous from Paraguay. FIFA official, I think they're making sure that Chilavert leaves the scene and goes down into the dressing rooms. Got away from his man. It'll be a third for Paraguay. They've got a corner. So a lively finish to the game then. First of all through that goal by Aviles, and then the sending off incident involving goalkeeper Chilavert. And obviously Paraguay now must protect their substitute goalkeeper, Romero, not used to being between the sticks. They've got to keep the ball in this half of the field for the remaining 3 or 4 minutes. Pereira's free kick. Loops it over the defender. The goal kick. But somehow Ecuador haven't been able to gather any momentum from their goal. Players keep going down all over the field. It's going to be another free kick against Ecuador. The side who are trailing, not what they need at the moment. And Paraguay will take all the time in the world to take this free kick. Time is of the essence to Ecuador. So far as Paraguay are concerned, the seconds can't tick away quickly enough. They lead 2-1. Pereira and Cabañas their scorers. Aviles the goal for Ecuador. And if Núñez could catch them unawares here, he really would settle it. Again, he couldn't get it through that wall. And again, the referee isn't too happy about the position of the wall. And Quinones is the captain. He's going to go and have words. And it's a yellow card for Nelson Guerrero for advancing. Sometimes difficult to know who the cards are being shown to, and so many of them involved. Just look at that. Everyone in a yellow shirt. And so even more precious seconds have elapsed. And Paraguay now surely on the threshold of a victory here. Ecuador sensibly sending one player way up front. Confirmation it was Guerrero who was shown the yellow card. It's the yellow shirts we look to now, and can Ecuador, even at this late stage, produce an equaliser? 2-1 down. To be honest, they never even looked like getting one. They're 2-1 down, but they're having to defend again. Núñez loses it though. Guerrero. This looks better, a bit more promising, and Paraguay do have to defend now. He's got to deliver a good cross, and it wasn't one. And again, the danger is on that Paraguay could charge out of defence and really punish Ecuador, but big defender Quinones there. His legs seem to be eating up the yardage. This referee has had to award a lot of free kicks during the course of the game. A lot of them to Paraguay, and quite a few of them in this sort of situation. And again Ferreira takes time. Now rolls it into the path of Núñez. And Núñez, the referee Ramirez, hoists his arms. It's all over, and Paraguay have got 2 more World Cup points in their qualifying group. They've beaten Ecuador by 2-1. They now have 4 points from 2 games, and that puts them in a very strong position indeed. Colombia, who've played 1 match more, are a point behind them. But as the officials leave, the talk will have been of Chileva, the goalkeeper, who was sent off. The goals from Cabañas and Ferreira that give us that final score of Paraguay 2, Ecuador 1.